guys, welcome to our flyer stretch tutorial. This is just a virtual class, so while you guys are at home, you guys can work on these stretches, work on body positions with your parents or family members, sisters, brothers, whatever. I have Cecilia here. This is her panel mat, this is her backyard, and we are going to show you guys some stretches that you can do at home. First, after you've warmed up a little bit, usually we'll do like 10 high V jacks and maybe run in place for like 30 seconds just to get our muscles warm and moving. You want to go ahead and start stretching. If you have a panel mat like this that folds, it's pretty helpful if you're like, it goes this way, if you're more flexible, but if you don't, this is perfectly fine. A flat surface is perfectly fine. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So we start with a right leg lunge. So put your foot up, Cecilia. It's really important that the flyer's toe is straight, like if this was like a straight line. Really important to make sure their foot is not turned, this back foot isn't turned every which way. So you want to make sure that it's straight. And it's also important to make sure that you are not, go ahead and push your foot back. Your knee is not going over your toe. Yeah, so you want your foot to be out in front of you a little bit so that it can create the deep lunge. And you want to hold the lunge for at least 30 seconds. Everything we do is about 30 seconds. So Cecilia, C, is a little bit more flexible. So we're going to fold the panel mat for her so she can stretch a little bit more in 30 seconds. Next, after this, you're gonna lean back a little bit, and you're gonna pull your back foot up. Yep, and bend your arms. You're trying to pull your foot as close to your hip as you can. Straight arms. Yeah, you don't want to look like this because it isn't helping anything. Bend your arms again. When you're stretching, you should feel this muscle here. Yeah. And you also don't want to go ahead and lean forward. Yeah, you don't want to drop your chest, yeah, because it's going to be hard to keep your balance. So you want to make sure that the flyer is keeping this front foot flat and straight and it's not moving a lot. See? The next thing we do is they sit back on their back foot and they are reaching forward. They're keeping their arms. You want to keep your same. So if you have on this, if you're elevated, you want to make sure that your heel is on the edge of the panel mat and the flyer is reaching forward, kind of like a sit and reach. You want to make sure that you're not turning your chest out, so you don't want to look this way. You also want to make sure that both legs are straight, and even if you can't go all the way down, you just want to make sure, I sit up really fast. You want to make sure this leg is straight. You don't want to have this leg bent because it's defeating the purpose of doing the stretch, yeah? So you're going to hold this on for 30 seconds as well. And now we're going to slide out into our split. You want to, yeah. Let's unfold it because your foot doesn't go off. Just because we don't have as much room so she can stay all the way on the panel mat. Same thing with your split. What you want to do is push this back leg straight. You don't want her foot to go on this side of her body. You want it to be straight on the left side. Yeah. When you're in your left leg split, you should be trying to get your left hip to the floor. It's really important that you're making sure not to rotate your hip out and you're turning this knee this way and sitting to your right butt cheek. So really important for our splits. Your back leg, the knee is to the floor, shoelaces are to the floor, our front leg, our knee is to the ceiling, shoelaces to the ceiling, yes. After she's held her split, we usually try to tell them to hold it in either high V or hands on hips, but if you can't do that, it's fine. One hand on each side is good. And after she's held this for 30 seconds, she's going to put her right hand on the panel mat and she's going to tap backwards. This is helpful for kick squats and helping with your back and shoulder flexibility. It's really important that you're keeping your arms straight. Just tap, don't look backwards and just tap back. You know what I'm talking about? is like when you tap, so try to, you know what I'm talking about? How people do it, and they tap back, but they don't like.
Keep your arm by the
Yeah, so try to tap back. Now. Yeah, you don't want to do this. Yeah, you always want to keep, no matter how far you can go back, you want to keep your arm by your ear. Yeah, and go as far back as possible. She's really flexible, so that's why she can go back so far. And after she's done 10 on this leg, she's going to lay flat. When we're doing this, you want to try to get your tummy flat to the floor. Your right hand is kind of like on your heel, like you're doing a heel stretch, and your left hand should be in a high V. And if I'm helping her, it's really, if they are this flexible, it's very helpful for you to go ahead and take her right hip and make sure you're pushing it to the floor so she's not rotating out like this. Yeah, so when we're doing this stretch, it's really important. Same thing, your knees to the ceiling, your shoelaces are to the ceiling. After she's done with this leg, she comes out and we shake, and then we do the same thing on our left leg. So after you've done both leg lunges to splits, we're going to do middle split. We like to take our shoes off for this unless we have sliders that you can slide all the way to the floor. So what you're going to do is you're going to get into a straddle. Yep, and hands on the floor. And you're just going to slide all the way down into that split. Really important that you're not sitting to your butt. Sitting to your butt, because that's just a straddle. That's not a split. So you want to make sure that your hips are staying centered to the floor. Also, you want to make sure that your legs are all the way locked out and your toes are pointed, and we want to hold this for at least 30 seconds. And we usually repeat these in our privates like 3 times for 30 seconds each. And if your flyer is a little bit more flexible, you can use 2 panel mats to elevate both legs so they're getting hyperextension. And what I like to do is try to tell our flyers while we're stretching them is for them to count, because that way you know they're still breathing. Some people like to hold their breath, and that's how you're tensing up your muscles. The more you're breathing and the more you're relaxed, the more flexible you're going to get, and more your muscles are going to be able to stretch out even more. You can come out. So for back flexibility, we usually start out with bridge rocks. So the flyer, if they have a panel mat, you want to do it, we can do it on the mat. We're going to fold this side over, and they'll do 20 with their hands on the mat, and then they'll switch and do 20 with their feet on the mat. So go ahead and bridge up. They can bridge up however they want. They want to keep their hands on the edge of the panel mat, not going past the edge. And what you're going to do is you're keeping your feet together, you're bending, and then you're pushing all the way through your shoulders to stretch. Yeah. Usually, you just keep going. Usually we tell the flyers to do like a 1, 2, 3, and then hold for like 5 seconds, just to make sure that we're stretching all the way out in their shoulders. And it's really important that you're evening out your weight and not keeping your feet separated. So your feet have to be together. The closer your arms are to your ears, the better. This is a good partner stretch for heel stretches. So what you want to do is have the flyer hook their arms behind your legs, and you're going to take one leg, keep it straight out in front. Sometimes if you have someone who tends to bend their knee, you can push against their knee just to make sure they're keeping it straight. You just want to pull all the way back until you can tell me when to stop, until they tell you to stop. I can keep going? Yeah, okay. And again, it's important that they are keeping their chest back. They're not dropping their chest low, and you're keeping their foot right by their ear. You don't want to stretch this way. You want to make sure, we're doing heel stretches, you want to make sure it's going right by their forehead, or right by their temple, I guess. And when we're done, they can put their arm out. So put your arm around. Yep. And we can turn to the side to get even more stretching. So this is another back stretch that we do at our gym. What you're gonna do is have the flyer and the cone clap above their head. You're gonna grab above their elbows, and it's really important that they are keeping their head in between their arms. And you're just gonna walk backwards as far as they will allow you to. And the flyer should be looking back. Yep, look back and just show me what to stop. Did it say? And then after you've done that for 30 seconds, you're gonna have them grab their elbows, and they're gonna push their head forward. And this is more of like a shoulder stretching technique. And the same thing, you're going as far back as they will let you. Okay. And then you do that one for 30 seconds. Then you're gonna keep your arm, they're gonna put their arms out in front, and it's kind of the same thing with their legs. We do both legs first. They're keeping their legs straight, you're keeping their feet together, and you're going as far as they will let you. Yeah, stretch your other side of your back. And then you want to do one leg at a time. Same thing, they're keeping their legs straight. Put your hand above their hip bone.
Start over. Same clip.
So that wraps up our stretching tutorial for today. Some pro tips to take along with you is to don't overstretch your flyers. Make sure you're being honest with your parents about how far you can go with the stretching. If it hurts, tell them that it hurts. Parents, make sure that you guys are listening to your athletes and being patient with them, because this is not something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to take days, weeks, maybe even years to get that flexible. Technique is over everything, is what you want to achieve, and that's about it. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter.